Hi, you guys. Welcome back to Medicine Tarot. I wanted to discuss with you today the healing of the inner child. We hear a lot about this. This is not a new idea. I'm sure many of you have done techniques. You've gone to different sessions. You've done work around this. You've read books about it. I'm sure many of you have healed deep-rooted, inner child stuff. And in many ways, it happens naturally, inadvertently. We cannot sometimes progress in life without taking a deeper look at some of the stuff that's happened to us in childhood and, gone about our way of resolving some of these issues. Certainly. But inner child work, and what I want to discuss today is the understanding of what it truly is, and I hope that some of this information I lay out is new information and opens your mind up to something that you haven't thought of before, etc. Or if this is the first time you're hearing about inner child work or have never actually started, I want to relay the significance of it. Now, inner child work sounds like a fantasy because you are not a child anymore, and that's something that happened in the past. And the whole idea of healing the past is, again, a mystery to so many people. And the way that we are taught in our modern society, I don't know what we're taught some of the time. I really don't know, where everybody else is coming from. I hear a lot about past life regression and healing, but not enough conversation about the beginning to everything, which is the child self, right? As I became more aware of my healing powers by healing myself, as I became more aware of the human system by healing myself, I became who I am today. I realized that everything that we find so precious, all of our wounds, all of our stuff, our friends, our belongings, our stories, all these things that we feel are extremely precious to us, which I believe we should have that reverence and respect for ourselves. I'm not arguing against it. We should have that. But the precious stuff is actually just a adaptive response to the circumstances we grew up in. So the only thing that is really significant about the inner child is that it is the beginning of where you have learned to be who you are. Of course, this then begs the question, how much of us we learned and how much is just, identity. And that's not what we're going to discuss today. What we're going to discuss is the things that aren't working for us, the things that don't feel self-serving. And I'm going to say 80% of the time we have no idea that we are still living inside of a system that is unserving, energy dynamics that are still going on for us that are only being expressed as symptoms of anxiety, depression, nervousness, PTSD, right? There's symptoms, and yet that's where it stops, and it's too much to deal with, right? So let's backtrack. The inner child is significant because it is the first time that we have learned to feel a certain way, to see a certain way, and to relate to others and ourselves in a specific way based on what's going on out here. Mom and dad get such a bad rap, and some of them should. And regardless, I just want to say, bless our parents. Bless them, bless them, bless them. If you grew up with parents who were difficult, we are victims of victims. And so I just want to say bless them. But the point of inner child work is that, and the significance of your life is that you are born with power to instill change in your own body. And so inner child work is not just cool and fun and spiritual. It is utterly, profoundly scientifically necessary in order for you to I want to say go on and do the things you want to do. The end. End of story. Absolutely necessary. Does that mean that everyone has to go through some process of healing the inner child? Absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of healing, you guys, happens by itself, to us, for us, through different new experiences that teach us, oh no, I am good, I am actually kind of worthy, ha ha ha, just kidding. Oh no, I'm actually good at this. Oh no, I can take care of myself, right? We learn things through life. Not everything is sitting down and I'm gonna heal now. No, life takes care of a lot of it. I'm just talking and speaking to the part of us that hasn't experienced that healing by just living. And of course, how can it? Because if you had a childhood and early teenagehood, I'm going to say till age like 15, 16, if you had certain situations happen, the way your emotional body is set up, the adaptive strategies that control how your energetic system operates, okay, is not just going to change because you don't like it anymore or because it's not working. Change doesn't occur in your brain. It doesn't occur in your brain. It occurs in your emotional body. Now, science has proven that the magnetic field of our heart, our emotional body, is thousands of, I don't know about thousands, but hundreds of times bigger, like way bigger than the magnetic field of our brain. So manifestation itself doesn't happen up here, it happens right here in the emotional body. And if we remember the saying of like, money doesn't buy you happiness, and we all know that that's true, or those of us who have had more money than we need, and we know it doesn't buy us happiness, right? The reason why is because nothing tangible, no physical thing can take away or mitigate the emotional body. It can meet our needs, and then meeting our needs in a specific way gives us emotional calmness, sustenance, whatever. But we all know that life's problems are much more diverse than, whatever, shelter, food, whatever. So, it's okay, it's gonna be great, because when we start doing inner child work, that work should actually be called foundational work. It is only the place where you started learning the stuff that you know, the way to relate to the outside world. There is a whole mystery around being able to do that work because we can't go back in time, but that's not true. The way that I teach in my transformational coaching sessions is that we communicate with the past, with the parts of ourselves that are still here through the visual cortex. And it's the most profoundly effective thing that I have ever found. And the reason I say I was able to quote unquote heal so quickly once I discovered this process. Anyway, long story short, the inner child work is connected to your existence today because it is the beginning of the story. And whatever can be traced back to certain ways of behaving that was learned back in the day needs you to go back to that source. And the soothing and the healing and the transforming and whatever needs to happen is completely and utterly positive. It just takes tools, it takes practice, it takes a coach facilitating this kind of work for you, or I want to say a good mirror for where to go next. Let's talk about something else, related but slightly different. Here is our body. The brain is a computer. The brain doesn't do anything but compute. The emotional body is the Mac Daddy. It is the everything. It is the place of, it's the source. And the reason I say it's the source, not only is our brain, science has proven our stomach was our first brain. Science has also proven that we have as many neurotransmitters in our stomach as a dog does. So think of the intelligence of a dog, right? That's the amount of neurotransmitters in our stomach. That's crazy to me. Not only do we have this scientific data that supports an intelligence in our torso, but emotions are occurring in our torso, okay? It is also the place where we get reactions. It's the place where like reactionary things occur. Now, what I've learned and what I'd like to share with you in case, you haven't heard it before, is that once you set up a certain route, almost like a map, once you set up a certain map through which your energetic, and your, like, basically the energetic pathways flow through, once you set that up, you're going to need to rewrite it. If it's not working for you anymore, you're going to need to rewrite it there, not here. Okay? How do we do that? Many different ways. But the main point is to figure out what's not working for you. And that should be the easiest, really. But it's sometimes not, because the mirror that we're looking at when we're looking at our own lives and our own selves is inaccurate, because we're acting from those energy systems, the map, that's kind of skewed. So you might look at yourself and you're like, I feel guilty about this. I feel like I suck. I feel like I'm not doing it right. I feel like I just blah, 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 blah. But and people are like, no, that's not true. You're like, you don't know, right? They're right. It's not true. But that's not the point. The point is that it is true for your body. And so we have to rewrite what is true for your body. And that is where we literally bend reality. And when we are bending reality, we bend it where it began, and we reconstruct the foundation, which is in our child work. It's amazing. It's the most profound thing of all time. So, if you want to engage in any of that work with me, I would be honored. But also, inner child work isn't hard, because remember, you're talking to a child. You're dealing with a little child. And so gentleness, patience, ease, love, support, comfort is those are the main constituents of effective soothing of the nervous system, in order for you to have enough flexibility to go in there and make the change that you need in your energy body. Eckhart Tolle, bless him, Eckhart Tolle always talks about the pain body. Get out of the pain body. That was good. The pain body allows, right? He's not talking about the pain body. He's talking about the emotional body. And pain is unavoidable on planet Earth. I just know that I don't want to stop feeling. I don't want to stop feeling pain. I don't want to stop feeling pain at all, because that means I would stop feeling excitement and love and all the other things. But when pain is unnecessary, which it is, to the degree that 90% of our society feels, that's just a number I threw out there. When we process pain to the degree that we're feeling it, well then, my friends, we just come into greater power. Who took your power away? Take your power back. Take your power back, they say. If you have a body that doesn't want to take power back because your body feels that is the wrong thing to do, because as a child you learn that power must be given away. If you learn adaptive responses to stimuli, no amount of words and tarot readings and cool stuff can teach you or can bring you to the place of change. And I put my name on that statement because I know it to be true for myself, and my body is no different than your body. We have had different experiences, it's operating differently, but it's the same damn thing. So I hope that was interesting. I hope, it made you think of stuff. If you need to contact me, my email is below. I'm sending so much love to you guys. Remember you are safe. Remember you are loved. Remember you are beautiful and wonderful. I'll talk to you soon.